If I was to die today and I had till the end of the day to live and I had to share one thing before I died, at this point, that information would be what I just watched earlier that I'll play for you guys.
Human off-world cult. The aliens don't attack in flying saucers like Mars attacks. They're here. It's interdimensional. Every ancient religion told you. The Bible spells it out extremely clearly. We are dealing with a fallen off-world species that is parasitic and is seeking to use us because we're actually more advanced. We just don't know it.
Okay, so let's pause it there. So again, 25 years of researching, almost like a full-time job, and there is a lot of research that shows that entities are being misidentified as aliens. So the gray aliens, let's say, um, these are non-physical entities that need some kind of suit to function in this 3D physical world, right? Without the suit, they are non-physical and are not able to touch, move, etc. They're in the spiritual realm. That's why, where is I going to go with that? That's why possession happens. So there's this one of my favorite movies called The Prophecy, and Christopher Walken. Nice name, huh? Christopher Walken. If you guys don't know what walk-ins are, I've met a few in my lifetime, and they're spirits that take over the physical body of a human when that physical body of the human no longer wants to be here or dies. In the moment that soul leaves, another soul enters. They walk into a person's body. So it's very valuable to have a physical body for these beings to use. Otherwise, that way they can function in this 3D world. So far we got that these entities, aliens, are not some outside thing that one day we will see. They are here. They've been here. Read the Bible, read the Quran. They talk about the jinn. Read the Bible. They talk about principalities, not of this world. We do not battle with flesh and bone, but spirits. Right? That's the enemy in the Bible.
We're in embryonic phase.
And the best part of that is we are so powerful. We are more advanced than they are. And this whole time they've been brainwashing us to make us believe we're not good enough, we're not worthy, and all this stuff about humans are just destroying the planet. And some truth to that, but like to make us feel like we are the parasite when they are the parasite. Nice try.
To build them their escape plan model. They intend to merge with humans and then jump off world. We are.
Whew. Okay, so that's a lot to digest, but it definitely adds a piece of the puzzle that was missing in my connecting the dots, piecing the puzzle of the mystery of our world. So I was wondering why, like, what was it? I think I recorded yesterday. I was like, what is it? Why is it that in these movies, first of all, there's tons of movies that show the world just destroyed. Why is it that there are no humans? There's no living beings in these movies. The one that just came out, co-directed by your boy Obama, aka CIA, aka Satan. And I'll share a link to this full documentary where you get to really, and he has embodied in that movie, he has a subliminal 666 in the movie. Just like a puppet for dark forces. Let's not let's not glamorize it. But the point is, in that movie that was just released by Netflix, Leave the World Behind, there are barely any humans. It was like 3 families that I saw so far. And where is everyone else? So we know that they have an agenda to keep the population at 500 million, reduce the population. And my question was, what happens to all the humans? Do they just die in war? Do they die in, is it like a natural disaster? And all these movies show aliens coming from the sky. So, what this guy is saying is that these entities are like, oh God, we got to leave here. But we're not going to, maybe because we're waking up and cosmically, this is a time where we rise our consciousness and create a love-based reality. And these guys are like, we're not going to, they're such sore losers that even when they know their time's up, instead of going, okay, we had our time, we know our time's up, they're like, fuck that. Like, we're going out with a bang. So it sounds like, based on this, that really adds the missing piece for me, that they're going to, they, first of all, the human body, they've always needed humans. They hate humans, but they need humans. Otherwise, they'll just go to another planet and do their own thing. They need humans. We are their food source. Just like if we were to escape during times of war. I was watching this movie about the genocide in Armenia, um, which is the only movie I've seen about that. And I was surprised it had famous actors, and it didn't show so much about the genocide, but enough. I was shocked that it had, big actors in it. But my point is, they would take livestock. They would take with them the chickens, and in order to survive. So for these being like, it sounds crazy that they're gonna just so same thing. In order for the humans to survive in that Armenian genocide, as they were escaping the Turks that were hunting down and genociding Armenians, there were a bunch of Armenians that fled, and I was like kind of studying how do they survive during times of war or genocide, kind of like taking notes, because at any point now they can turn against us who have not taken the thing, not inserted unknown, concoctions into our bodies, and we could be the new, Armenia, Palestine, Jews of Nazi Germany, etc. And I'm like, shit, is that going to be a divisive topic, what I just shared? But I don't care. Um, I'm just going to speak my truth uncensored, because they want us worried about what we're saying, stop us from speaking freely. Okay, so these entities, if they know their time is up and they are non-physical, and so apparently, based on what I'm hearing right now, is that they will take a whole bunch of us. I don't know how that's going to happen, merge us with robots, AI, take the mark of the beast. I'm not sure. But then once that happens, they can just override us. Once the chip is inserted into the body, because the goal of these AI beings, these entities, is to be able to merge fully, right? They want to merge fully with humans, but this thing called the heart, it's kind of an issue. So when you watch Iron Man, his heart has been replaced by a machine. That's very symbolic. Number one, greatest profited, like, made tons of money in the box office. So that means tons of people saw that, and it's like, in order to be the super cool Iron Man, right? If they're speaking to the kids, you just got to get rid of your heart. Listen, just get a mechanical heart, and you'll have all these superpowers. And that's very dangerous, because today is December 25th. They connected it to Christ, even though it's not. But it brings the idea of the heart, the divine heart, the power of love, right? And so imagine those people who, yeah, just take this chip and get all these powers and abilities, but lose their heart and soul. And then not only that, but then these entities are like, all right, I got myself, my livestock, let's go to another planet.
Are their escape pod. Now that's the big secret. That's what they don't want you to know. That's why all this is happening. And once you understand that, it all makes sense. Once you open the Bible up, and read the Old Testament, read the New Testament.
Just a heads up, I actually don't trust. I don't trust Alex Jones. When I started off getting into conspiracies when I was like 25, him, he was up there, but definitely feels like over time, something's shifted, and these elites have millions of ways to compromise someone. So I'm not saying I don't watch his shows all the time. I watch the one with Kanye just to be like, what's the trickery going on here? With curious to know what happened because it was banned everywhere. I couldn't even find it on alternative channels. But this particular documentary I was watching on the Disclosure Hub, highly recommend it. I'll post a link or just check out the disclosurehub.com. Amazing documentary, like tons of truth bombs. But this part of Alex Jones is what really got me.
Read the last book, Revelation, read Daniel, read it all for yourself. And if you read it like you're going to the store to buy a science fiction book, it makes perfect sense. If you read it the way these idiot controlled preachers read it, it won't make any sense. They're doing that by design. The ancient Christians knew all of this. The Jews know all of this. It's the big secret. The planet has never been in more danger of total annihilation. The forces of Satan are attempting to drive humanity into thermonuclear, biological, chemical war, 400 plus nuclear reactors to melt down. I would estimate 5 billion dead in the first year. Maybe 100 million survive. That's a best case scenario. But the globalists actually say they want to reduce the world population down to just 500 million. And that's their external statements. Internal information tells us they believe in a post-human world, and they have made a deal with interdimensional off-world influence, we know as Satan, to actually kill all humans on Earth for the opportunity to merge with this species. Are dealing with a fallen.
So, because he's a Christian and he speaks to a Christian American audience, they use the word Satan. I'm not a fan of the word Satan, but I get what it's representing. It's just dark forces, just not just, but like entities. And there's a whole hierarchy of these dark entities. And so that's what, is AKA, you know, dark entities. So
off-world species that is parasitic and is seeking to use us because we're actually more advanced. We just don't know it. We're in embryonic phase to build them their escape plan model. Why would they be poisoning us? Why would they be mutating us? Because they have a program to take us over and in the process use us as their advanced technology engine to then again escape their maroon status on this planet. Very simple. And again, you're like, well, if they're so advanced, why do they need us? Whatever humans imagine we can then build, that's what Genesis tells us.
So that's the gift of the human imagination. Einstein said imagination is more powerful than education, I believe. So there is something about the human imagination that is so powerful that we have some divine, I don't know if it was higher dimensional beings, godly kind of gifts, abilities, spiritual technologies within us that these entities do not have. That's why there is jealousy. You're not jealous of a being that is inferior to you. You become jealous of a being who's superior to you. And if you're a narcissist and you feel ugly inside and you're dating this beautiful woman, you're going to try to make her feel so ugly because you're so insecure. You're scared that she will leave you because of your own feeling inferior. So you transfer inferiority to this person. Now they feel lesser than, they don't feel ugly, they don't feel good enough. And now you're able to feel secure because you're controlling them through mind manipulation. Humans do it, and it stems from this lesser than I don't know what it just that I'm gonna stop there. That was a good example.
We're made in the image of God, made by God in his image. We're not God, but we're made with free will that God has given us to do anything we want, basically. These creatures are just longer along in their development, but not anywhere as advanced as we are, and very robotic. They see us as basically food. They're fallen, and they can't get up without us. And that's why they're giving us these horrible ideas and horrible programs that they can't build, but that we can. You've been given the ultimate secret. I want to talk about the philosophy of the Satanists and why they're doing this. It's very important to understand. It's beyond.
Just a reminder, like this is like a religion for people, like a handful of elite people all over the world. They're indoctrinated at a young age. They send their kids to, get abused and mind controlled and satanic abuse, sexual abuse, and they do everything they can at a young age to kind of destroy their hearts and their spirits so that they can be easily controlled and manipulated by these dark forces. And these dark forces um, have their own kind of religion, and they've been aware of this agenda. They know that the future is them merging um, with robots, and that's why you can go all the way back to you know you can go all the way back to study how computers were created and the entity influence with that. You can go back to all the Hollywood movies that specifically like study all of Arnold's movies. Like Arnold basically, how is America going to accept this guy who sounds very different than an American, who it's kind of like it's comedic, um, but and he was like, okay, I will be an actor for this, for whatever the elite wants the movies to be made. And movies like RoboCop and Terminator, they all have, it's not random. There's all these like sci-fi movies that are, we watched back in the days, and sometimes like Total Recall, if sometimes they'll bring them back. Where's that imagination coming from? What's the source of that information, and why is there an agenda that started all the way back then with these robots? Um, Not fearing these robots because we can use robots for good, but um, yeah, I'm gonna stop there.
Uncritical. They are hitting us at every level in a giant open air mad scientist laboratory. And they believe out of this massive attack on humanity, it is going to help them develop the secrets of the universe, whether it is the particles of the universe with the CERN, superconducting supercollider cyclotron, or whether it is weather control, which they admit they're doing, huge breaking news on that today, or whether it is the 5G and other systems taking over our bodies with these electromagnetic impulses, or whether it's physically taking over our bodies with these nanotech structures that are growing in us, with the graphene oxide more that's totally confirmed, to the social attacks, the spiritual attacks, the economic attacks. Humanity is being put into a crisis phase, and the Luciferians believe that will then create the new Ubermenschen, and out of that, the few survivors will create the super genetic being that will then merge with the machines and become a new life form. And that's the religion of the New World Order. I told you about it 25 years ago. Elon Musk has been talking about the last few years.
25 years ago, so a lot of these conspiracies that people are now sharing, honestly, we've been researching it and knowing it for a very long time. And yeah, 25 years ago, we were reading about all of this stuff. So I can't remember where in this documentary, but they basically said reach out to those people that were called conspiracy theorists. Like, reach out to them, reach out to us. We have the information. We've been researching a lot. and pick their brain. They could just give you their 25 years of research in one conversation, because it's important to have that information. You don't want to be stuck with your head in the ground when all shit, falls apart.
People watch him on Joe Rogan and they put our interviews side by side. It's word for word what I'm saying because Elon Musk knows whether he's one of them or not. I think the jury's out on that. When I'm telling you this is not a game. And you don't need me to tell you this is going on. You can turn on the TV and hear the world will be better without humans and the future's not human. And by 2047, we'll all be cyborgs or dead. And Google executives say you'll be obsolete if you don't merge the machines. This is a forced revolution against humanity. And if you don't resist it, and if you don't become aware of it, and if you don't change your life to be outside of it, and I'm telling myself that when I tell you.
That's the biggest question for me right now. That's my homework. Our homework is, okay, I'm not sharing this to create fear, it's to create awareness. With awareness comes power. Truth shall set you free, sharing the truth about this. So, the question that I feel is the next question is, if entities want to take our bodies and just exit this planet and go somewhere else, what what protections do we have in place? What what are our spiritual tools? The power of the heart, the power of the spirit, the Christ consciousness, raising our frequency, shielding protection, calling in more love and light, and our spiritual team. What are all the tools? Prayer, all the medicine, shamanic tools. It's time to, it's time to amp it up, take it to the next level, and make that a priority. Our spiritual warfare, spiritual warrior armor.